Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are infamous for their awful Pokedex. The original Sinnoh Dex only has 150 Pokemon, and it's extremely lacking in several areas. That resulted in several major trainers having strange teams, but it didn't have to be this way. What's up, fellas? My name is Matt, and today Elias and I are gonna fix Diamond and Pearl's Pokemon League without using the Platinum Dex expansion. Alright, let's get started.
What's up? I'm Elias, and Sinnoh's Pokemon League includes specialists for 12 different types. The ones that aren't represented are Normal, Dark, Poison, Flying, and Dragon. As it turns out though, nearly all those unused types could have given us varied and thematic teams, even if we just stick to the Diamond and Pearl Dex.
Out of all the Pokemon League trainers, Flint's team is easily the most infamous. He's a Fire-type specialist, allegedly, but what is this nonsense? He's only got 2 Fire-type Pokemon, namely Infernape and Rapidash. That's because they're the only 2 fully evolved Fire types in the Diamond and Pearl Dex. In order to avoid repeats, Flint also uses a Steelix, Lopunny, and Drifblim.
People have theorized that Flint's team is themed around the general concept of being hot rather than specifically fire. Drifblim is based on hot air balloons, Steel is made by heating up iron ore, which explains Steelix, and you know what, I'm just gonna skip over Lopunny. At the end of the day though, Flint primarily has this team because of how few fire types there are.
As soon as more fire Pokemon were added in Platinum's Dex, Flint picked up Magmortar, Flareon, and Houndoom. If the Sinnoh Dex had enough fire types to begin with, Flint probably would have had all of them from the get-go. Diamond and Pearl also has a severe shortage of electric and ice types, but both of those types got gym leaders anyway. We'll look at them in more detail a little later.
Each Elite Four member has 5 Pokemon, so ideally you'd want 5 unique evolution lines on their team that share a type. But you want to know what's infuriating? Most of the unused types have enough representatives in the Diamond and Pearl Dex. There are 5 fully evolved Dark types, 8 Poison types, 10 Normal types, and a whopping 12 Flying types. A Fire-type trainer didn't need to exist in the first place because nearly every other type would have been a better option.
The only unused type that doesn't have at least 5 families is Dragon. The only Dragon types in the game are the Garchomp line, Dialga, and Palkia. It doesn't make much sense given an Elite Four member both box legendaries, and I don't think 5 Garchomp would be a very good idea either. They'd probably croak if they even think about an Ice-type move.
By having trainers like Flint in the game, Game Freak makes it incredibly clear that the Pokedex is wildly unbalanced. So today, we're gonna pick different types to make teams out of, to at least make the problem less obvious. First off, Flint is fired. No pun intended. The fact that Game Freak added a fire specialist in the first place is questionable at best. So this Ronald McDonald motherfather can get lost. That leads us to our next question. What type should we choose instead of fire?
Let me tell you what it's like behind the scenes here at MEPlaysGames. Sometimes I will text Elias. He'll text me at 12 a.m. his time. I'll text him at 1 a.m. my time. And the next thing I will see from him is go to bed.
Yeah.
Maybe you should also go to bed, pal.
No, I don't need to.
Oh, but I do.
Yeah, you gotta get your beauty sleep.
Well, out of the unused types, Flying has the most options. Each Elite Four member has 5 Pokemon, whereas the gym leaders max out at 4. So let's pick 5 Flying types for a new 3rd Elite Four member. We'll kick their team off with a Noctowl. It's one of the more unusual regional birds, because alongside the typical Normal and Flying type moves, it also learns a bunch of Psychic attacks.
Next up, let's go with Mothim, which is the only bug flying type in the Dex that Aaron doesn't use. There are 3 water flying types we can pick from, namely Pelipper, Mantine, and Gyarados. I don't love the idea of using Gyarados though, since Crash or Wake already has one. For today, let's go with Pelipper, since it hits slightly harder than Mantine. Crash or Wake, I have always thought to be a really cool name for a Pokemon game.
Oh, you want to know something? In Italian, his name translates to Omar the Destroyer. That is absolutely incredible. We'll round out their team with Staraptor and Crobat, 2 other flying types that aren't taken by any other gym leader or Elite Four member. The rival Barry uses a Staraptor and Cyrus uses a Crobat, but when the Pokedex is this small, we're gonna run into conflicts no matter what. It's not ideal, but it's good enough.
Even with the limited Pokedex though, it's still very possible to construct monotype Elite Four teams. The Pokedex in Diamond and Pearl still sucks, don't get us wrong, but we can draw less attention to it by replacing trainers like Flint. Game Freak created a problem by barely adding any fire types, and for some reason, they decided to shout about said problem from the rooftops.
Now let's turn our attention to a couple of the gym leaders, starting with Candace. Elias, don't you dare make a stupid joke out of her name. Her Diamond and Pearl team consists of Snover, Sneasel, Abomasnow, and Medicham. Wonderful. Once again, there are only 2 Ice-type lines in the Diamond and Pearl Dex, and Candace uses them both. She could have had a Weavile instead of a Medicham, but that would make her team feel a little more repetitive.
It honestly sounds like it could be a real name as well. Like Boomer or something, you know, Crasher.
You have people named Gunner.
Could you imagine meeting somebody and you're like, hey, I'm Matt. nice to meet you. What's your name? And they're like, oh, I'm Crasher Wake.
I mean, coolest
Holy
mother-father
crap.
in the universe right there.
I know, right? Before we fire Candace, though, why are there so few ice types in the decks? A huge chunk of the game revolves around a big-ass mountain, and Candace's gym is literally in Snow Point City. Pokemon Platinum added several more ice types to the decks, but they really should have been included to begin with. A region with so many cold areas should have more than 2 ice type families.
If we want to show off 4 different evolutionary lines on our team without using the Platinum decks, we have to pick another type. Let's replace Candace's gym with a Dark type one. Like we said earlier, there are 5 fully evolved Dark types in the Sinnoh decks, but for the sake of this gym, we think one of them is kind of off limits.
The champion Cynthia leads off of a Spiritomb, which is notable because of how rare it is. To catch a Spiritomb in Gen 4, you have to get the odd keystone and put it in the Hallowed Tower on Route 209. Then you have to go into the underground and talk to other players down there 32 times.
Hello, Elias. Have you ever caught a Spiritomb in Gen 4?
Nope.
Didn't think so. Most people aren't going to go through with all that nonsense, which means that most first-time players won't see a Spiritomb till the Cynthia battle. In turn, they won't know what type it is, or what moves they should use against it. If we gave Spiritomb to a gym leader as well, Cynthia's lead wouldn't be nearly as surprising. People would see it and think, oh yeah, I earthquaked that thing to death a few hours ago. Here we go again.
Spiritomb is the forbidden Pokemon, huh?
Oh, is that its category?
Yeah.
Gyarados is the atrocious Pokemon.
So if we want Cynthia's first Pokemon to still be a mysterious threat, we should use the other 4 Dark types in this gym. That makes our 7th gym leaders Team Honchkrow, Skuntank, Drapion, and Weavile. You could also swap out many of these for their pre-evolutions depending on how difficult you want to make the battle. I know what you're thinking. Gentlemen, isn't it kind of weird putting a Dark gym in Snow Point City? Yep, it absolutely is, but when the dex is this small, we don't have a ton of choices, and quite frankly, I also just could not care less.
Wow. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Game Freak put 2 gyms up in the mountains. You've got Grush's Ice Gym like you'd expect, but you've also got Rhyme's Ghost Gym. So putting a Dark Gym here would be a little funky, but Game Freak has done similar things in their more recent games, so I think it's fine. You're kind of subverting the player's expectations by putting something other than an Ice Gym here, and I think that's fun. We could also just put the Dark Gym somewhere else in Sinnoh entirely, because the Ice Gym isn't the only thing you have to do up north.
Obviously, the ideal solution is, having more ice types like the expanded dex does. Pokemon Platinum added Glalie to the dex, alongside the new Gen 4 evolutions Frostlass, Glaceon, and Mamoswine. That's one thing that makes almost no sense about Diamond and Pearl. They added a ton of cross-generational evolutions, but very few of them are actually in the regional Pokedex. Most of these Pokemon should have been available to begin with. Unfortunately, they weren't, which is why we're doing this Dark Gym nonsense.
Alright, who's next? Oh, it's Flint's partner in crime. Great. Volkner's the final gym leader, and he specializes in electric types. But I'm looking at this team, and I think I need to say the A word again. Ambiguous. Abugida. Allegedly. Volkner's got a Raichu and a Luxray, which is all well and good, but then he fills out the rest of his team with Octillery and Ambipom, 2 random Pokemon that just happen to learn electric moves.
Abugida?
Yeah, that's the name for a writing system where the vowels are attached to consonants.
I gotcha. The Diamond and Pearl dex has a limited number of electric types, but it's not as limited as Volkner makes it seem. Unlike Flint and Candace, Volkner doesn't use every electric line that's available to him. Pachirisu is also in the Diamond and Pearl dex, but Volkner doesn't use it. He's never used Pachirisu in the games or even the anime. The only time he's ever had one is in the manga, and even then he gives it away to Platinum, who's one of the main characters.
Volkner doesn't even take advantage of the few electric types that are in the dex, so he's fired too. There are a couple of types left, but let's replace Volkner with a poison type gym leader. We've actually already made a poison gym for Sinnoh on this channel before. Back in 2023, Elias and I made a video where we added a 9th gym to every region. Not gonna lie, it wasn't terribly fun rewatching that video to see what Pokemon we picked, but I digress.
In that video, we gave each trainer 5 Pokemon, but today we're replacing Volkner entirely, and he only uses 4 Pokemon in his team. So let's go with Toxicroak, Gengar, Tentacruel, and Roserade. Unfortunately, we do have some conflicts with other bosses here, but that's not the worst thing in the universe. You could also put a normal type gym in this spot instead, but we picked Poison because we didn't want to end the gym challenge with the most basic type.
In an alternate universe, we make an evil version of this video where the normal type gym leader comes 8th and his team is just 5 Babarrel.
5 Bidoof. Mega
So
Bibarel. They gotta add Mega Bibarel.
Don't get us wrong, Pokemon Platinum's Dex expansion was much appreciated. Having more Pokemon available is almost universally a good thing, because it gives us more options when we're building our teams as players. Having a bigger Pokedex is also the best way to fix the gym leader teams for a third version. But they didn't need to put those terrible teams in Diamond and Pearl to begin with, which is the main point we wanted to make in this video. Picking different types would have been a viable solution as well, but Game Freak chose neither option.
When Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were first announced, they were described as faithful remakes. Unfortunately, that included being faithful to the original Pokedex. Everything we've said about Diamond and Pearl today applies to BDSP as well. Flint, Candace, and Volkner are back to using their nonsense teams, and the Platinum Dex expansion is nowhere to be seen.
Cause, you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it is broke, if it ain't, no,
If
joke
it is
canceled.
broke, leave it as it is.
Huh? Oh no. Oh no, my dad heard me butcher that joke.
Nice.
Oh no. Everybody leave a comment saying hi to my dad.
I tell him I say hi, tell him I say hi.
Either way, we were still able to use the Diamond and Pearl decks to craft a bunch of monotype teams. For whatever reason though, Game Freak took their Pokedex and added trainers to specialize in the 3 least common types. As we demonstrated today, there was no need for them to do that, because there are plenty of options they just skipped over.
Well, that's the biggest problem with the Diamond and Pearl League out of the way, so now let's address a much smaller one. By the time these games came out, nearly every main series game started with a Rock-type gym. Brock is the first gym leader in Kanto, and Roxanne comes first in Hoenn. Diamond and Pearl continue that trend as well, which we're not huge fans of. Rourke is the first gym leader in Sinnoh, and he's a Rock-type specialist once again.
3 rock gyms in 4 generations is excessive if you ask us. So if we were in charge of Gen 4, we'd pick a different type for the first gym. Considering the choices we've made so far, a normal gym makes the most sense. There are a ton of normal Pokemon to pick from, but let's give our hypothetical gym leader Apom, Hoothoot, and Baneri. The only other type left over is Dragon, and we're not giving the first gym leader 3 Gibble.
Yes, we are. We're not gonna fire Rourke though, because there's another place we can put him. His dad Byron is also a gym leader, and you fight him and his steel types later in the game. So instead of kicking Rourke out of the league, let's make him fight alongside Byron in a double battle. We'd effectively be creating a dual type gym that way, and I think that's neat. Okay, mythicals should not be getting mega evolutions.
Why not?
Because legendaries don't have mega evolutions.
Extremely loud, incorrect buzzer. Mega Mewtwo? Mega Rayquaza?
Oh, so true. Never
Velocity
mind. Forget
Twins?
I said anything.
Hello?
Forget I said anything. Forget
You're
I said
fired.
Anything. Forget I said anything.
Sleep is for the weak, man.
How else are you supposed to grow taller?
I'm 22, Elias. That ship has sailed. Unless you want to Venmo me 5 inches so we can be the same height.
No, I'm okay. I like my height. Look at this. Look at this. How could you let this happen?
Oh.
This is unacceptable. How could you do this?
Okay, but you read over that just fine. Can you blame me for not noticing that? That's even more incorrect.
Good night, fellas. Sleep well.
Get out of my house.